The curse of December strikes again. That's right. Game got canceled. I was really looking forward to playing. Anyway, this video I meant to make earlier, which I, of course, did not, because that's, you know, it's the month of procrastination, too. So that's that. Wife's making batches of our special hot chocolate. We'll take this time to talk about low-level mobs. The scrub creatures. They don't go away. I noticed some campaigns, you never see goblins once you're done with them, and they don't get really, it's not really worth your time to fight them. But they're always there, right? It's kind of like the flu during COVID. It just disappeared. Not. So I'm that way with critters. So if you get to around you're in your 4th or 5th level range, you should still be dealing with goblins, and kobolds occasionally. Big bads like having minions or slaves or servitor creatures to do the crap work. This last adventure, it was a group of goblins in a mine, trapped between an adversary that annoyed our party. They couldn't kill it. And then the toadmen, who were a serious threat. And the goblins were caught between them. And they were starving to death. And they couldn't get water. So they were fighting emaciated, hollow-eyed looking goblins. And no one seemed to take a whole notice of those descriptions. So I'm sure they did. They just didn't say anything. Wasn't getting that feedback, right? But it was goblin bashing time, and it was pretty it was pretty one-sided. There were some surprise situations where the goblins landed some 1 and 2 and 5 point hits on party members, and it was dangerous. But outside that first battle where they were rolling 19s and 18s, they were rolling 18 to 20 pretty hot, and there was a volley of 4 or 5 into melee, and 3 of the shots hit the PC. Because I'm using the Dragon Slayer rule. I'm making a video. Who are you talking to? Myself. But anyway, where if you roll 1, 2, 3, or 4, when you fire into a melee or through a melee, it hits an allied player. Just roll damage. They still do. They still fire in the melee. And I'm pretty sure that's how 1 or 2 of these fighters are going to die. They're going to get in the melee, and the guy in the back, I'll fire anyway. Or volley. They can't, you know. And then thump, 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 dead. And nearly killed on job. 3 in the back. Sorry about your luck, son. But those low-level mobs, they're there. I believe there's orcs in giants. And against the giants, there are orcs in the Steeding of the Hill Giant Chief. And they're a nuisance. If they're a slave class, then they'll run off. Is it giants? Yeah, in giants, there's also orcs in the basement who you can rally up for a revolt. Right? And there's some servitor creatures and such in fire giants too. I think more orcs. Not that powerful. But when there's enough of them, they're a problem. Some players will institute using men-at-arms or servants or allied creatures to soak up hits. If you're fighting a giant, he gets 1 swing around, that's 1 splat. And if he's not swinging at you, then that's usually a goblin or a man-at-arms getting splatted. Better him than me mentality, right? That's the same way with big bads. They can clog up the battlefield, and you can't get around them until you do something to reduce those numbers. And that's resource management. It's going to take down those spells. Why would a 10th level mage have sleep? I don't know. A mob full of goblins that you have to deal with that are servant creatures of a wizard or whatever. You can sleep them instead of having to fight them, because combat is going to bring attention by sound, right? So those are one of the reasons you are going to have those in bigger modules. It works for your party, because you could always polymorph into a creature that looks like a servant creature and walk around, right? If there's orcs carrying the food to the hill giants, I come out of the stone, polymorph into an orc and walk over there with a side of beef and just start poisoning everybody, you know. If you allow poison in your D&D group and your lawful good paladin does not object, since these are not actually creatures of honor or civilization and deserve what they get. But they are giants. They're probably not going to feel a safe person. There was a spell I made for another game called Cannibal Feast, and if you could get them to start eating the Cannibal Feast, it could turn funny. Maybe they start eating each other. You're like, ah! Whoopsie! So it is what it is. But you should use low-level mobs all the way, even up to name level. Because as a lord, it's like a 10th or 12th level lord, you're going to have to deal with mobs of low-level creatures invading your area, raiding your crops. Now, they'll have more challenging creatures, higher level for you to fight, naturally. Or maybe not. Maybe it's always going to be an irritating 4-hit die chief that infringes upon your territory that you have to track down and root out and kill. Not every adventure is going to be to save the world, and not every adventure is going to be super challenging for your characters, and therefore not super rewarding in monetary or gold, but at least something. Retainers and hirelings still need paid. Taking copper and silver from a goblinoid tribe that is infringing on your area might be for a fairly boring session for some people, but it does pay the bills. Or you could send underlings to do these jobs. When you get to domain level play, why are you going out and doing it? Alright guys, we're planning and we're organizing for this campaign, and rather than hand wave 6 months, while we're doing this, I have Roderick, my trusted man-at-arms, recruit a small group of heroes, or we just send our retainers. What people don't realize, the Circle of 8 was a group of retainers for the most part. Did you realize that? It's a bunch of damn henchmen. And, yeah, have fun with it. And it can make for comical stuff. Kind of like cats playing with their food. High-level fighters just like, ha ha ha, I am not killing that with my +3 sword. I pull out my minion dagger. +1, +3 versus orcs. Stickity, stickity. I need to test it. But anyway, they don't go away. They're always there. Use them. Add a little flair. They could also be used for information. A captured, abused goblin in the stronghold of the ogre chief or whatever will probably spill the beans pretty quickly and has no lasting loyalty for the ogre. Just let me live, bro. Let me out the door. You'll never see me again. Not that you would know. They all look alike, right? The goblins. What did you say? They all look alike? Yeah, they're goblins. It's a fancy game, guys. It's made up. They're real. Come on. It's messing with you. Sometimes it's fun to do that just to make other people uncomfortable. Rob, they hit a little close to home. Come on. But anyway, later. Game often, game well. Have fun, y'all. December. Ugh.